Hi, fifth graders, it's Miss Ha, and today I've got my horn and my patience rock. Man, I think we need this more than ever right now, especially me. I've been holding on to it, thinking about it, trying to do some breathing, practice patience. It is a practice. Well, today we're going to talk about recording in our science notebook, and we're going to talk about recording about what we communicate. And there are a lot of different ways that we communicate now through Zoom, Seesaw, Class Dojo, text message, phone call, Zoom chat box. Today we're going to talk about how we record in our science notebook, and I had some stickers, so I labeled mine Miss Ha Science Notebook. And we're going to have a notebook. This notebook we're going to use all year. So even while we're remote, whenever we're in science, we're going to be using this notebook. And I know we practiced using whiteboards before, and the whiteboard's a great tool. It's just that it's temporary. We erase it, right? So even when we write a word or an idea or a concept map, for me, I write my schedule a lot. I erase it when I'm done, and I love that because it keeps it clean. But I want to have a place where I can record over time again and again and again, and I can look back at what I've learned, and I can add to details about how I've grown and stuff. So on my first page of my science journal, my science notebook, I have my heading, which is science, S-C-I-E-N-C-E, and I have the date, September 15, 2020. And the question, what did you notice in your body or what did you visualize? And you might recall responding to this, or maybe you haven't done this yet, but some kids shared they felt their heart beating, their bones, their lungs, their teeth. And then I have a diagram, a picture with a label here. And I love that I can look back at this on September 15th. I can also look at what I've done with other classes. And we're going to look for the next available page together so we can get organized in science. So I have some observations from the past. We have some predictions here as well, some observations about what I noticed in my body when I was breathing. We're going to have a lot of recording time in science where we get to work in our notebook. I have this horn that we had just discussed. We did here a scientific illustration, and the teeth, which are really cool. These berries. This is a kindergartner's representation of the heart. I felt my heart, and that's the art symbol, and that's the muscle. That's the scientific diagram of what it really looks like, sort of. It's like a model. Anyway, the next available page is the next empty page. So I like to use all of them front and back to save paper. Hope you'll consider it too. Spell the word science, S-C-I-E-N-C-E. And if you don't know how to spell it already, you'll learn it because we're going to practice writing it again and again and again because we'll have the same predictable heading. Also with the date, just like we did in the science lab, September 21st, 2020. And we've been reading this book together, A Handful of Quiet, Happiness in 4 Pebbles, and practicing these different nature meditations. And all of these objects are actually from the biosphere, and that's the world that we're living in, the habitat that we live in, the plants and animals that are in it. That's in the biosphere, that's in our ecosystem. And I'm just going to trace one of these pebbles. It's one of these rocks. And this one reminds me of calm water. It makes me feel relaxed. You can also use colored pencils, whatever coloring materials you have. Use them. Use them. Take your time. Honestly, art feels really good at this time. I'm going to be joining Miss Pantos for some art and Zen tangles tomorrow, I think. But feels good for our brains, feels good for our hearts. And our science notebook is going to be a really special place where we record our ideas. So please make sure that you have one. If you don't have one, maybe it can share space with another notebook you already have. Maybe you save some of your science notebooks from the past. Maybe you have some scrap paper that you can fold and staple and get creative, make your own notebook. But I would like it to be something you could keep together. So maybe even loose leaf paper in a folder. But something that we can keep together and look back at and see how we've grown as scientists. Okay, fifth graders, thanks. Bye.